These are some happy Bettas, just swimming around in the Betta grower tank. This has been quite the experiment, and a lot of the experiments have actually gone absolutely super. What I did was I took a clump of the propagated dwarf hairgrass, the Elaeocharis parvula. There's a video on my channel how I do that. So basically you put some Elaeocharis in very wet potting soil and you leave it out in the sun. You make sure it's humid and wet. The soil has to be quite wet. And then over a few weeks it'll grow into like a nice carpet. And then you can, that's where the experiment came in basically. I just cut a strip out that would fit in this very thin, like it fits on a windowsill. So this one is a very thin aquarium. And I sprinkled some sand on it so that the potting soil that was clumped up in the roots of the Elaeocharis would not seep into the water layer. And that seemed to have worked quite beautifully. So this is basically a weird way to do a wall stop method. So what happened to this tank? And I have another tank that that I did a similar thing with, and it never had any problems. But this one had just all over the grass. It had a layer of cyanobacteria, or the slimy dark green algae that you get. Very difficult to get rid of. So I thought, oh, maybe I have to restart this tank. But as I always do, I try to see how nature would do it, so that cyanobacteria could run rampant because it didn't have anything to stop it, and it had enough nutrients. I couldn't do anything about the nutrients because, frankly, the Elaeocharis is doing so much already to reduce the nutrients. So what I needed to introduce is something to eat it, or to at least dent the population of that algae, so that over time you would have a decrease, or maybe even an eradication of the algae. So what I did was I put these big pond snails that I have, I put them in. I put quite a few of them in. Put some shrimp in there. There he is. That's a little blue Caridina shrimp, not a Neocaridina shrimp, but a Caridina shrimp. A little side note on these ones. I do go off on side notes and side quests. Sorry for that. But this one, being a Caridina, you would normally think it's like a really difficult shrimp to have in different water parameters. There's another one there. But these ones are actually one of the hardiest shrimp that I have. So Caridina and Neocaridina, in my opinion, it doesn't really necessarily need to dictate if it's a difficult shrimp or not, but it is the case that many of the Caridinos are one of the pickier ones. There's also a Nerite snail in here. It's quite a pretty one. I saved this one from from someone who drained their tank and was getting rid of it, and it was like onto a bit of decoration. But yeah, onto the algae. Fast forward like 3 days later or something, I could see like a lot of patches just disappearing of the slimy goop that was on the Elaeocharis, and all around. There's a little bit of the goop here. There you go. It's dried, so that's why it's not eaten or anything, but it's just all gone now. Like a few weeks later, the snail population has decreased so much. I mean, they've laid plenty of eggs as well against the window. The Elaeocharis is growing very nicely. It's doing really well. I'm very happy about it. And the Betta, well, that's the whole reason this tank is set up. These Bettas were the bigger ones from my spawn, so I had to separate them so they didn't eat the little ones that are in a different, the initial breeding tank. Yeah, man, it's cool to see how just thinking with nature and not against it, it can just really help you get this nice ecosystem that you have. And you can see the Daphnia hopping about. Like I just fed them. They don't survive long with these ferocious predators nearby. But I really enjoy these kind of ecosystem tanks. Let's see if I can zoom out. I'm not the best cameraman. But yeah, the fish look really, really happy and healthy, and there's just so much life going on in this tank. And with the grassy look, I think it looks really nice. Yeah. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.